Your parents probably had one. A small house, nothing special, maybe 900 square feet, a yard, 2 bedrooms, a manageable mortgage on one income, the starter home. It was the first step on the housing ladder. It almost doesn't exist anymore, and its disappearance wasn't random. In the 1950s and 60s, the average new American home was around 1,000 square feet. It was designed to be a first home, modest, affordable. By 2015, the average new American home was over 2,600 square feet, and the price didn't just scale with size, it scaled with land costs, material costs, regulatory costs, and profit margins that grew as the market segmented upward. The construction industry stopped building small homes, not because no one wanted them, because the profit margins on small homes couldn't compete with larger ones. For the same labor and permitting costs, a developer earns far more building a 2,500 square foot house than a 1,000 square foot one. The math eliminated the starter home. The market had no incentive to keep it. But the market didn't do it alone. Zoning laws, which we're covering in detail in the next video, made it almost impossible to build small in most cities. Minimum lot sizes, minimum square footage requirements, setback rules, parking minimums. All of these sound technical? They're not. Minimum lot size of 10,000 square feet means no small home on a small lot. Minimum square footage of 1,200 means you physically cannot build a starter home. 2-car parking minimums on every unit add costs that make small homes financially unviable. These rules were written, often at the request of existing homeowners, to control who could afford to live in a neighborhood. They worked exactly as designed. There's a second force at work. The starter homes that did exist, older stock, modest neighborhoods, got bought by institutional investors who converted them to rentals, by individual landlords building portfolios, by short-term rental operators who turned them into Airbnbs, by house flippers who renovated and repriced them out of starter home range. In some markets, investor purchases account for 25 to 30% of all home sales. That inventory doesn't return to the starter home pool. It becomes rental property, short-term accommodation, or a premium-priced renovation flip. The existing stock of affordable homes is being steadily removed from the pool of homes available to first-time buyers. Here's what this means in practice. For the boomer generation, the path was work, save briefly, buy a modest home, build equity, move up. That path no longer exists for most millennials and Gen Z. The modest home isn't available. The save briefly is impossible when rent eats the margin. The build equity doesn't start when you can't get in the door. The result is a massive intergenerational wealth transfer. Those who own property in high-demand areas have seen asset values multiply. Those who don't are locked into a rental market that extracts wealth rather than building it. This isn't a coincidence, it's the logical outcome of policies that protected existing owners while failing to maintain the entry point for new ones. Starter homes could return with specific policy choices, revising minimum lot size and minimum square footage requirements, removing parking minimums that add tens of thousands to construction costs, social housing programs that build specifically at affordable price points, limiting investor purchase of single-family homes in high-demand markets, as some European countries have started doing. None of these are radical. All exist somewhere in the world right now. None require ideology. They require political will to prioritize first-time buyers over incumbent interests. That's the gap. The starter home didn't disappear because people stopped wanting modest, affordable first homes. It disappeared because the systems that produced it were dismantled, and the political pressure to rebuild those systems is weaker than the political pressure to protect the status quo. Next, how zoning quietly controls your life and who it was designed to protect. Subscribe.